Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Democrats are salivating now over the midterms, and Republicans are freaking out after the latest special election in a Republican district. In a Florida State House race, Democrat Emily Gregory beat Trump-endorsed Republican John Maples. Adding to the misery for Republicans and the humiliation for Donald Trump, the district includes Trump's Mar-A-Lago. But it was a Democratic feast.
My goodness gracious, they're waking up. Maybe they're going to get brunch at Mar-A-Lago and say, yummy, yummy, because this result will make their stomachs feel quite good indeed. Florida's 87th House District election margin, Sarah is laughing over there. Look at this. In 2024, Donald Trump won it by 11 points. Look at this swing all the way to the left. We got Gregory, the Democrat, winning it by 2 points in this State House special election. I will also note that they flipped a state Senate district as well further north in the state. So double fun for Democrats in a state that they have been struggling with. Democrats have lost so much power in Florida over the last decade.
But not anymore. And it's not just in Florida. In Donald Trump's hometown and further north in the Sunshine State, where Democrats flipped another Republican-held seat, it is the same story nationwide. Democrats keep beating Republicans in GOP districts and in swing districts and, of course, in Democratic districts. And in nearly every race, Democrats are outperforming their 2024 voting results by double digits.
The average 2025-2026 special election so far, Democrats are doing, get this, 12 points better. Up like a rocket versus Kamala Harris's baseline in 2024. This 12 points, very similar to this 13-point swing that we saw right in Florida, right around Mar-A-Lago in the 87th district. And I will note, I was counting it up, I believe that is about a dozen different special elections in which we have seen a flip from Republican control to Democrat control. So what is happening and happened last night in Florida is really emblematic of what we have seen nationwide so far, which is Democrats very much outrunning the baseline from 2024.
Now, one of the questions that political analysts keep exploring is how are the Democrats doing it? What are the issues and who are the voters that are making a big difference? Well, according to all the polling, the economy is driving most of this. Donald Trump's approval rating on his handling of the economy is underwater by 30 points. In other words, Trump has an approval rating on the economy of around 32% and a disapproval on the economy in the upper 60s. Also, Latino voters who were nearly split on Donald Trump in 2024, they now favor Democrats by 30 points. And men who favored Trump 2 years ago by double digits have dropped Trump like a bad habit. It's all spilling into these special elections where Donald Trump is not on the ballot, but the GOP image is awful thanks to Trump. Here's a closer look at the Trump numbers involving men.
This gives the game away. Okay, Trump standing with men. In November of 2024, he beat Kamala Harris among them by 13 points. Look at where he is now on his net approval rating. Down he goes. It's a 20-point shift away from Donald Trump. He is now 7 points underwater at this particular point among men.
Trump is underwater in his approval with men. And again, in 2024, Trump won male voters by 13 points. Several news organizations have been talking to Trump voters to try and put the feelings and frustrations into words on camera. MS Now asked several Trump voters if they regretted voting for Trump over Kamala Harris in 2024. Watch.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long, that oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
Regarding oil prices, before Donald Trump started the war against Iran, oil was about $65 a barrel. Now, it's over $100 a barrel and climbing. The price for a gallon of gasoline was an average of around $3. Now it's $4 and rising. Although in several states, it's already over $5 a gallon. And with each passing day that Iran is able to choke off most of the traffic in the Persian Gulf Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil supply and an even larger percentage of the world's agricultural fertilizer remain stuck. So oil and gas prices are rising, and the cost of producing food is also going up. That's why we keep hearing reports that Donald Trump wants to try and end the war and open up the Strait of Hormuz in the next 2 weeks. But as most Americans understand, ending the war and opening up the flow of oil and other products through the Persian Gulf will also be up to Iran. And the Iranian regime is demanding reparations for the U.S. damage to their country and control of the Strait of Hormuz, so that Iran can force all ships to pay a toll. Any such toll would be a worse situation for the United States and the global economy than before the war started. Iran knows this. The Iranians also know that Donald Trump and his Republican Party are in deep political trouble with U.S. voters. So the political challenges for the GOP and for Donald Trump are getting worse. To be fair, a lot can happen and change in the months before the midterm elections, and Democrats have a history of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But Republicans are in the midst of a long special election losing streak, and the political winds are howling against the GOP, even in Donald Trump's home of Mar-A-Lago and Palm Beach, Florida. Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan. By the way, some Republicans are now talking openly about invoking the Constitution's 25th Amendment to try and remove Donald Trump from office. Trump's walk is slower, his ankles are swelling, the scabby marks in his hand are bigger, requiring more makeup, and the verbal blunders keep getting worse.
The President of the United States, Gavin Newsom, admitted that named the undisputed, when did this come out? We didn't need him before we started Dig We Must. Dig Me Must, that's the Trump policy.
The Trump oil policy is drill, baby, drill. Dig We Must was a Con Ed utility slogan for their construction zones in New York City in the 1960s. Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.